What did you have to get?
Live.
What did you have to get?
Nothing.
Good evening, everybody. How are you guys doing this evening? My name is Andrew, and this is my wife, Rhonda, and we're 30 till forever. Gotta get your breath?
I'm good.
Okay. Cool. Well, guys, listen, we're glad to have you guys on. I don't know what's going on with my tablet, but we are going into part 2 of what we started last week, where we're talking about the hard conversations and the hard conversations that you gotta have with your spouse, that you should be having with your spouse, either before you got married, after you got married, you know, or if you haven't had these conversations, to start having them like right now, because things gonna come up and you really gonna have to cover. Last week we were talking about, you know, making plans for the spouse's departure from this earth, and being able to make plans for that. We do have a link to a service that you guys can get, and we'll post that after.
I thought y'all did that.
No, I didn't post it. I gotta figure out how to get it off my text message.
Oh, okay.
But we do have a link for you guys, and we will share that with you guys so you guys can because my wife, she's seen it's a book that you can get, and it will lay out all these plans that you can have, like A, B, C, D, D, E, F, G, and you can have all your stuff planned out, and it'll be done. Then let your spouse know how to find it, and then you can move from there. Okay, you got something you want to add on that?
Nope. I just looked down there and saw my face look like, so I'm trying to change it.
How does your face look? My wife is perturbed with me this evening, so I tell you, I'll get us with the good, bad, and the ugly. So I hate you got to see this beautiful face when she's perturbed with me, but I do get her upset at times, guys. So but tonight, guys, you know, we're gonna be talking about medical care, because you know,
Leandra thinks it's funny.
What, your face?
Yep. She's angry.
But we're gonna be talking about medical care tonight. Only because, and when we dabbed into it a little bit last week, but medical care, when you guys, it'll be too late when just say if my wife, we end up in the emergency room and she has to have all kinds of surgeries and she's about to she's in really bad shape.
Why it gotta be me?
Because I was looking at you.
Now, well, it could be you, though. He could end up in the emergency room and he needs all this stuff done.
And then, all of a sudden, you don't know about your spouse's wishes, what they would want. Like, do they want to be resuscitated? Or do they want you to take the heroic route and whatever it is, no matter what it is, do it. Just make sure they stay alive. I don't care what it is or what it costs.
Pull the plug.
Really? Really? You just pull the plug on me like that?
But wouldn't your wish be not to resuscitate?
I didn't say that.
What is your wish?
No, as I purposely didn't
What is your wish?
Then ask you this question.
What is
earlier.
your wish?
My wish is, and notice we have not talked about this yet, guys. My wish is for you within reason. Within reason. If they gotta keep me, if they have so much stuff inside my heart to where my heart ain't gonna work anyway.
What about your brain?
That too. Well, the brain dead, the body.
I mean, sometimes you can be left in like a state where
A vegetate? No.
Not a vegetated state, but a state where you can be kind of okay, but not still have your full faculties. Where you might not even know who I am or where you are.
Well, what good would that do me then?
I mean, you still probably could have a sense of something.
What? If I can't recognize who my wife is, then what good am I? And see, this is the reason why we're having this discussion, because family can go too far to take care of, to try to keep somebody alive. And me personally, don't go overboard. I know it'll hurt. I know it'll kill you. But if I'm gonna be a vegetable, just let me go be with Jesus.
All right.
But just say if I, like when I got stung by the bees and I almost died. Now see, that's within reason. You didn't let me die in the bathtub. so that was within reason.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I didn't say anything. I'm listening.
What about you? What about you?
What about me?
Would you like for me to try to
do however you want to do?
No, you can't say that. Because what if I be like, soon as your eyes shut, pull the plug? No, no, I wouldn't do that.
They're not gonna let you do that anyway.
I wouldn't do that.
Ask them what can be done, what can't be done, and if it ain't no hope, then bye, Rhonda.
So you're saying within reason?
Yeah, I mean anybody's gonna say within reason.
No, you got some people like, no, you do what it takes, keep me. I don't care what it is,
I mean, you have to do what you can to keep the person alive if they are going to be alive. But if you were saying to keep me on some kind of machine that's pumping my blood, beating my heart, breathing for me, and it had to be done like that for an extended period of time, like years, gonna pull the plug.
Yeah.
Even if it had to be a year, even if it had to be 6 months. I think if it was 6 months and they said, well, let's give it 6 months and see how she does. I said, okay, 6 months. And at that anniversary date, just go ahead and pull the plug. Yeah. Unless I just, by the grace of God, wake up and be like, hey, y'all, what's
up? Really?
I'm just saying.
No, but you guys can see how this conversation is really needed between husband and wife. Because I mean, you'll go into a situation.
What about your children? What do your children think you should do?
But it's not with the children though. It's with the spouse.
But my children will fight you.
The children have nothing to do with the decision.
My children will fight you.
Listen, I'm their father. And even though I would say I would talk to my kids because that's what we do, but still ultimately I'm your husband and the decision is with me.
The decision is yours.
That's why you have got to talk to your spouses about this kind of stuff. I know some people don't. We had a couple on last week. They said that, that the wife was down to have the discussion. The husband like, I don't want to talk about it. And that's how a lot of people are. A lot of people like, I don't want to talk about it. Why we got to talk about this now? But why wait till one of you, you're incapacitated and you can't talk about it?
It is a discussion that needs to be had. This is something that you should not wait until you end up in the hospital to have. If you have an order to do not resuscitate, then I pray that your spouse that is standing there can follow.
They will have to. By law,
your wishes.
They have
without,
to. They have to by law. The hospital has to too.
If it's on paper, hey.
So and like I said, anything within reason with me, I'm cool with.
When I think about like with the COVID and everything that's going on right now, and how sick some of these people are. And I think about the teacher that was in Clayton County that at the beginning of COVID went in the hospital and she was placed in a coma, or I don't know if she was placed in a coma or she slipped into a coma. I'm not sure about that. But she was in a coma for an extended period of time. And when she came out of the coma, she was fine. She still had to learn how to speak again and learn how to walk again and take care of herself again, because she had been in the coma for more than 60 days. So her muscle memory was pretty much gone. But in a situation like that, if there's hope, then,
Yeah, I mean, see, that's understandable. No, just say
But
like
if something was to happen to you, like right now, even though I would like to punch you,
why?
I'm irritated. But even when I'm in an irritated state, I still would be like, you still my husband, and I love you, and I want you here. So you can continue to get on my nerve on a daily basis.
Really? No, but when just say if I'm in the hospital, you had to rush me to the emergency room, and the doctors, they come out, they're like, look, Miss Dove, we resuscitated him 3 times already. It won't, we can try to resuscitate him, but we don't think it'll do any good again anyway. How, just say if I was brain dead, would you keep me on a machine just so other family members could come look at me and say goodbye first?
No.
And see, this is why it is important that you have these discussions with your spouse, is because you would have some spouse somewhere would be like, I'm gonna keep them on this machine as long as possible, until and
so everybody come in so they can say their goodbyes.
Right.
No,
and I wouldn't want that for myself either.
No, because just because I'm on a machine and they've already told you that I'm brain dead, just pray to God and just be at peace with it, but let it go. Let it go. Let that body go. That is, no.
Who's that?
I think Anna.
So, I'm like, if it was you, within reason, I would.
Within you, what?
Just try to do whatever I could to make sure that you.
No, I'm saying if they said that I was brain.
Now, if you were brain dead,
it ain't no point.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yep.
Let it go.
I will.
Let it go. I mean.
But see, that's why it's important that you have these conversations with your spouse. That when you have these conversations, that you're candid about your wishes. Because some people are like, don't resuscitate me at all.
Okay, quick question.
Yeah.
Because lupus patients can go through anything at any time.
Mm-hmm.
I've been warned that my heart would stop without warning or whatever. Mm-hmm. And in situations like that, what would you do?
I would get you resuscitated.
I mean,
if that was your wish, if you said don't do it, then of course I wouldn't do it.
If it got to the point, because I mean, I've read reports, and in the support group that I'm in, I've seen where people have gone into the hospital, like they were doing fine, and then after dinner, everything just starts shutting down. Their whole body just starts shutting down. But then after everything was over with, and they get to the hospital, I mean, it's so hard when you think about something happening to somebody who seems like they're perfectly healthy 1 minute, and then
everything happens really quick
in 5 minutes. Because I was just thinking about that day that I had really bad heart palpitations, and it scared me because my speech was slurred. I was dizzy. I couldn't get my faculties about myself, and I was scared. So I called you, and that's when we had to go to the hospital. But and everybody was coming around me like. And see, that's something that I wouldn't want. Mm-hmm. How the kids and everything was gathering around me like, oh my God, mama's finna die. And it was just like, I'm not finna die, y'all. Please leave. No, but in situations like that, when you at the last minute, and not even necessarily being at the last minute, what do you do for that person? If my last wishes was, and even if it wasn't my last wishes, it's just that I'm so sick and I love everybody, but y'all please don't just stand around me waiting for me to die.
Then I'll kick everybody out.
So in a situation like that, if it was you, what would you want?
Would
you want everybody to come around and be?
Yep.
Okay, so
I want my children, my grandchildren, you, my sisters.
I mean, if I'm unconscious, I don't care. But if I'm conscious,
I want y'all around.
Y'all know what's going on.
Y'all stand around my bed holding hands. I don't care.
Y'all can stand outside the hallway or be outside in your car. and do all the pray. Just pray.
Now,
I just want to know that you're praying.
You know,
but
just my
at me
immediate
being
family,
sick,
but not
no.
not 50 people.
Not
Do you
even my
remember?
immediate family.
Do you remember when my grandmother, when she went to the hospital with cancer, right before she passed? Do you remember we went to visit my grandmother?
Yeah.
My entire family was in that hospital room.
Yeah.
I mean, cousins, auntie. I mean,
and that's how you want it.
No, I want my immediate family.
I don't know what immediate is.
My pastor and my immediate. You, my children, my sisters.
Boy, you got 10 million sisters.
I got 7. But they all don't live here, so. But what I'm saying,
here.
But see, that's what I'm saying. You know, it would be my immediate family plus my pastor. Other than that, then everybody else is in the waiting room and wait.
Well, you and my girls, I'm good.
Cause I would, you know, I know that you and my girls would be there. I know I would want and especially my grandchildren, cause they my life. I can't hear my grandbabies. But listen, but you see, we saved this conversation to have it in front of you guys because couples don't talk about this stuff. It's like taboo. You know, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that I think that you wouldn't go overboard with me if it was me.
I wouldn't go overboard. What you mean? I would not go.
You would not go overboard with resuscitations, with medications, with.
Why would you say
that? I don't think you would go overboard.
I'm gonna do what I have to do to keep my husband.
I understand that, but when they just keep doing it just to be doing it.
Oh no, you're not finna just be keeping that pumping him up and doing all that craziness.
See, remember my dad when we went to see my dad before he passed. Mm-hmm. And even with my mom, they had put so many drugs into her body and into her heart to where it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't gonna be. It was just futile. You know, they were just. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't want to have to go through that. Because number one, I don't know what kind of feelings you have then, and whatever you experience, and I don't want to experience it. So, my thing is, you know, within reason. Okay, what you're telling me is this is not gonna do any more good. So yeah, if it happens again, just let my husband slip on away.
So again, in this book that he will get posted to the page later this evening, it has all these different instructions on what to do in situations such as this. And it also, I mean, it has everything that you need. So it gives you like a guideline from the beginning to the end. And when I say from the beginning, I'm not talking about just if you're getting sick and you getting ready to die or you whatever, just planning out your memorial service and stuff like that. It has investment information, how you can save for the future. It has all these legal things in it.
Right.
It's a good thing to be a good tool to have to use at your disposal and getting everything notarized so that your family know what to do in cases such as this and where you can put information about lock boxes or anything that you need. The thing is that you have to be prepared. You have to have these tough conversations. You have to sit down and you have to talk to your spouse. You need to sit down and not only talk to your spouse, but also talk to your children. Your children need to know what your wishes are also.
Exactly.
Because if your spouse is not there and at hand at that moment, someone has to be there to make the decisions that they know you want carried out.
Yep.
Go.
Yeah, hey, you was on the roll, so I was letting you roll.
No, I'm just thinking about, you know, all this different stuff, and it's hard. You just talking about stuff like this. It bothers me, but it don't bother me because I'm not scared or anything of anything that can happen with me as far as my health goes. I know that God got me as long as I'm doing what He has for me to do. He's always going to sustain me to do whatever it is that he has me to do. I believe that and I trust that
Right.
100%. I worry about the people that I would leave behind, and it's not even everybody that I worry. I just worry about the people that would be left behind. That's it, you know. And wanting to make sure that you guys can deal and make the right decisions. That's it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You want to make preparations so that any decisions that have to be made, that you're making it easier for them to make those decisions.
Absolutely.
Because listen, these times, these are those times like that. They're very stressful.
Yeah.
They're very stressful, and some people they shut down. Some people don't think about it. Some people they zone out because they don't want to have to deal with it. But somebody has to be there to be able to be the one to make the decision. And you know, if my wife, if she couldn't, I don't know if my children could.
I would like to think that they would be strong enough to get through it.
I would like. I do too.
The process after everything's been taken care of. I would like to think that, but I do remember when I think back to the situation with how my mom died and how we all had to come together, and with everything and all of the decisions that had to be made. Me and my sisters we got together and we did talk about it, and we finding out what her wishes was. We were able to sit down with the funeral home and make all the final decisions together, pretty much. But it was just a discussion that, you know, would have been maybe easier if we had something written on paper other than, well, once mama said and once daddy said or once somebody said something. But if you have to go on once somebody said, well, you got to tell me, because I never had that discussion. And that's how I was. I was like, I never had that discussion with mama before. So if that's what y'all say she said, okay. Now, if that's actually what was said, I don't know. But we went on what they said that she said. Because I did not talk about things like that with my mom.
You didn't talk about them with me either.
Yeah. So it's good for you to make sure that if you have it in writing, it makes it easier.
It makes it so much easier
for the people that you're leaving behind, so they don't have to.
I'm not even just leaving behind. Just say if they gotta, if they have to make the decisions for your life while you're incapacitated,
or even not even something like that. It's like, me and my mom did have the discussion, like, if you needed my kidney, would you take? And we was a perfect match. Would you take my kidney? And her answer was no. And I was like, lady, you crazy. If that's what's gonna save your life and you need a blood transfusion or my kidney, you getting it. And she was like, no, I'm not.
But see, just like with her giving you that word right there, you couldn't do it.
I wouldn't have done it because I knew that she was dead set against that. And that was based on her religion and everything. But
not just religion, her word. That's
it was her word.
That's what she told you.
That was her word. But yeah. So I mean, it's just
it's a lot to think about.
It is. And the older we get, the more, and the more our body changes. We as adults, because a lot of times our kids is not gonna want to think about it. We have to think about our mortality and things that happen when we going in and out the hospital, back and forth to the doctor's appointments, and then dealing with all these people walking around, breathing all over everything, coughing all. Yeah, it's just a lot to think about. It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, and see, like even with COVID right now, you're not, a family member is not allowed to go back into the waiting room with your loved one anymore. So
can they go and be in a waiting area?
Nah, in the waiting area, yeah. But I think so. If I'm not mistaken, you can be in the waiting area, but a
certain holding area.
Yeah, I guess. But so your spouse is. Can you imagine if something is going on between you got the doctors working on you, then they gotta find you to get find your spouse to get information on how to treat them and what to do and how to do it. And then every time something happens, they gotta track you down to ask you a question. I think that in this day and time, it will be extremely hard for to be able to get information relayed fast between you and the doctors.
You want a cell phone for, baby?
Yeah.
I mean, that cell phone. Like,
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about the cell phone. I didn't, because if it was us in that predicament, I don't know. Just like I wasn't thinking about the cell phone then. The only thing I'd be thinking about, let me call my children, and then your sisters.
I was just sitting here and I was thinking about how sad and lonely it would be if being in quarantine alone, if you do true quarantine and then you have to shut yourself off for 14 days away from your family, how disheartening that would be for the person that has to just be there by themselves. I mean, completely by yourself as real quarantining alone for 14 days. And then it's like if you actually end up with it and you have to be in a hospital for an extended period of time and you can't have any visitors and the most that you could do is talk on the telephone.
I can only imagine the stress that would cause.
And then not only the stress it will cause on the person that is in the hospital, but what is it doing to the family members that's always trying to figure out and wonder
what's going on.
And they can't really even talk to you or talk to the doctor, and all they can do is get bits and pieces of information. Right. When I think about my son-in-law and what he had to go through, I just
yeah.
God is good.
Yep. And that's the reason why you gotta have these conversations with your spouses and with your children, or someone else that you can trust. If your spouse, just have a plan B.
Yeah.
Have a plan B, or even a plan B and a C, just in case, because you never know. Because when I had my episode with the bees a couple of years ago, my wife, she did good to call 911, but I think listening to you tell the story, you weren't any good after you called 911.
I wasn't really any good before I called 911. Well, as I was talking to 911 and everything, I was just trying to keep you alert, trying to talk to you and trying to make sure that you just talk to me. My mind was going in 100 different directions. I couldn't think of anything other than I can't lose you. That's all I was just thinking. I can't lose you. And when you fail, and we're like, blah, 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 I'm just like, oh my God, baby, please just keep talking. Just say something to me. And then when I had got 911 on the phone, and they was like, where is he? I'm like, he fell. He's in the bathtub. They was like, get him out the tub. get him out the tub and try to lay him flat so that he can have a clear passageway to breathe. And I was like, okay. So I tried to lift you out the tub. It wasn't happening. I covered you up and got the both grandkids to come up, and they got one leg, one got the other leg. I'm grabbing on your arms trying to pull you out the tub. It was not happening. We could not get you out the tub.
You trying to call me fat? I'm just teasing.
I mean, I would not want to pass out in the bathtub because you wouldn't be able to get me out.
I'll drag you out.
Dead weight is dead weight. It's heavier than. So I mean, you just, and then that panic. Once they got here and they start working on you and everything, I was just like walking back and forth. They was like, Miss Dove, I just need you to stay out the way. And I'm just like, okay, but I just needed to be able to see what they was doing to you. And they was just like, stay out the way, just stay out the way. They was like, one of the EMTs was like stopping me from going back towards the bathroom. I was fine if they would let me stay on the other side of the bed. But if anytime I like tried to walk around the bed to go to the bath. It was horrible, and you was just in there, and it was like, all right, we're gonna have to shoot him with this. All right, we're gonna have to do. And I was like, oh no. And if it was Sean next door, if he hadn't came over here and prayed with me, I probably would have had to go to the hospital. After they resuscitated you and got you better, I probably would have been in the hospital too. But he was able to pray with me and keep me calm. And that's another thing, to have a relationship with God and to know,
Right.
that is, oh my goodness, that is so important. Because in a time like that, if you ever experienced anything that was so traumatic where your heart, a person's heart stops, so they stop breathing or whatever, they lose complete consciousness. I mean, all of this, and this is why, your EpiPen being with you all the time is so important. Because if you get stung by AB, one, you don't have to get stung by a bunch of them again.
I've been in the street twitching. I'm just teasing, baby. I'm teasing. I'm sorry. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing.
It's important to have a relationship with God and know where to go in your time of need.
Yeah. And guys, listen. These are the hard conversations that you've got to have with your spouse. Like I said, last week, we talked about preparing your
having your will and everything together.
Your after, what's left for your people in the after when you
you
leave
can't
this
get
earth.
to fix your tongue.
I don't want to say when you die. I don't want to say you die.
When you die. Trying
That
to get
sounds
it
so
together
harsh.
Before you die. Make sure you have it all
That
together.
just sounds so harsh. But when you want to make sure that people can take care of your decisions that have to be made for your family, with ease, because those times are very stressful. And
that was last week.
And even this week too. If you gotta have medical care, those times are stressful. Like you say, when I was incapacitated, and the EMTs had to try to keep you back so they could work on me. So,
yeah, because I was in the distraction. Let me get my husband. I'm just playing. I was like that though. I was like, I need to see him. Baby, I'm here.
You were making that face, were you?
Yeah, it was ugly.
I say yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, baby.
Okay.
Baby.
Okay.
Baby.
Really? 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 Lord.
It was so ugly. Oh, you had a big ugly crocodile tears when something happened.
I'm glad I was passed out.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, but this is why you gotta have the conversations with your spouse about medical care. Whether you want to be resuscitated or you don't. What kind of care that you allow the doctors to work on you, like blood transfusions, organ transplants, all that kind of stuff.
Are you an organ donor?
No.
Why?
Because they mine.
Oh.
I don't know. Whenever I renew my license,
I'd be like, go on, give him his heart, over there, and his kidneys over there. Go on, you can have his eyes.
When you renew your driver's license, they ask you if you want to be an organ donor. And when I renewed my license, last time I renewed my license, the lady said, "You want to be an organ donor?" I said, "No." That lady looked at me like, "How dare you?" and then she said, "Why won't you be an organ donor?" I said, "Because they mine." I said, "These are my organs." Said, "But if you can't use them anymore, what you?" I said, "But they mine." That's all I can say. And the lady was just looking at me like, "Really? Really?"
Make sure you have that on, because I'm giving you.
It's on my driver's license.
I'm giving them all.
But see, this will be on YouTube, and this will be on Facebook and Instagram.
Like,
people heard me say, "No, they're mine."
Okay, yeah. That was just too much joking. I'm sorry.
I know.
Leon just said that's not funny, Daddy. But it was too much joking. I apologize for that.
Yeah, we sorry for laughing, because this is a serious conversation.
It's a very serious conversation.
We just try to make it a little lighter for you guys.
People out there in YouTube land, Instagram land, and Facebook land, when it comes to your health, in matters of your health or your spouse's health, or anyone who you care about, make sure you know what their desires are, what they
Right.
want before you let your feelings
Just
get
don't
involved.
assume.
And don't let your feelings get involved in it, because at that point, and it sounds harsh, but it ain't about you.
Right.
So just make sure all your stuff is, and their stuff is, you know what it is, and you know what to do.
Yep. With that being said, guys, we're going to end this right here. We love you guys. We thank you guys for tuning in. We thank you guys for watching even on the replay. But you can go to YouTube and watch any of our 30 to Forever videos that we posted. But instead of the word spelled out, it's the number 30 till forever. And you can find us on YouTube that way. And you can go back and look through a bunch of other videos that we've done. This one will be posted this evening, so you can either watch the replay on Facebook or you can go to YouTube later on and watch it on YouTube.
And it would be fantastic if you would be so kind to go over to YouTube and follow us, like us,
Subscribe
and share.
and share it with your friends.
Follow is subscribe.
Hit and then hit the little red ding button, so you'll get notified when we post new videos.
Once every Tuesday evening.
Love you guys. You guys have a great evening. We really do appreciate you guys, and do not forget to have these hard conversations with your spouses.
Oh, and with that being said too, mask up.
Yes,
Wear
definitely.
your mask. Wear your mask.
Next week, guys, we're gonna be talking about care for your parents. That's another hard conversation that you gotta have.
No, it ain't. It's your
Yes,
mom
it
and your daddy. Just take care of them.
That's a very
Make
hard
sure you're
conversation
okay.
to have.
Make sure mom and daddy okay. We love y'all.